I'm standing here in the typical slouch. There was childhood memories. My grandmother had on her counter, it was made of cast iron. It was an ashtray. She didn't smoke. It was one of those things you collected ashtrays. And it was an ashtray with a lamppost and a little man leaning on the lamppost, slouched like this. And he was drunk, leaning on the lamppost because he was a boozer. So I know there's a lot of alcoholics who roam the boardwalks because that's their idea of fun when they come down to the amusement park. So why all of a sudden do I think of the slouching boozer? Because I'm leaning on the boozer. Here it is. It's the Booz-Barometer, and it will actually tell you how big of a boozer you are. Now, it's very scientific, okay? And I can see that I'm going to have to be doing a little work on this because we are an open air boardwalk. And the elements come in, rain, mist, and typically things like this, I'm getting rust. Can you see this? Now I'm actually wiping rust. You see that? Off. Now that is from being down at the shore, and I can clean that up pretty quickly, pretty easily.
Lucky, and crispy.
With a proper way of doing it, not with my hands. But that rust will affect the way this works because we need continuity. Where did I put my quarters? Wait, do I have a quarter here? I got a quarter. I think these are quarters I found on the floor. You know what? People drop coins on the floor, and sometimes the mechanic gets them, but sometimes some scrounge is going to get it. Wait, you won't even believe it. Look what I found. Look, it's a penny. A penny.
Lucky.
Happy day.
Lucky.
I'm rich. This is where you got to fit in that Bugs Bunny cartoon clip where he finds, in the desert, I'm rich. And Daffy Duck, and then Hassan comes out, with the knife, he's going to chop him because he's got the jewels. It doesn't work with pennies, so I'm putting the penny in my pocket. Ka-ching! We'll try a quarter. These are thick ridge quarters. These are also always problematic for machines. Make sure you're over on the insulation. Now the idea is to go along without touching the metal. How far can you do so? And this is on insulation over here, so I'm going to try to go along and without touching the metal. Now, sensitivity is not great on this because of you see that? You see the spark? See the spark? Now, one touch, that should end the game with one touch. It's not ending the game because I'm not getting a good enough contact. See that? Now it ended because it got enough current through here and it pulled the solenoid in. But this is going to have to be cleaned up a little bit. But that's the idea of the game. You're going to go down the line, and without touching it, when you touch it, game's over because it's going to stop and that's where you are. Now this is the problem with this game, this cord. This tape I used to have, they've worn that off. I used to have this up towards the top. I can't tell you how many times I've had to repair this. This tape is useless at this point, so let's just pull it off. Ah! No, it's just, I used to have it up here just for a little bit of extra security and strength. But by moving this around, they are actually breaking the wire inside here, and it breaks inside the handle, and you got to get it out of the handle, and you got to cut it back a little bit and splice it in, and the wire gets shorter and shorter. I've had to replace this wire once, so it's not your average wire. Average wire will break too easily. It's a very thickly insulated wire. It goes inside the machine, and
crispy.
People will just have fun playing it without putting the quarters in it. So we have this very, very sophisticated way of dealing with it. On the top of the machine, it says, "Thank you. Please do not mess with game unless you have money in it." Now that puts an end to it right there, because Nobody's going to come over and just mess with the game without money in it, because it says, please do not mess with game unless you have money with it. So they're not going to do that. Not. So they're constantly over here. I don't got no money. I'm in the arcade. But I can stand here and I can entertain myself doing this even without having any money in the machine. Because my IQ is less than the size of my shoe. And I can find hours of entertainment just doing this without any money in it. And each time they move that back and forth, they're putting more wear on the wire until the wire breaks. And then the real idiot with the low IQ is the one over here having to spend hours fixing it for the couple people that are actually going to put a quarter in it. But they do make great door stops. You see that flange that's nice and silver? The idiot mechanic had to replace that, why, just about last week. Because they decided to play yank and yank, yank, and knock it over, and they broke the flange. Home Depot! You would not believe what a flange costs. It's a pipe flange. I was shocked, I tell you. If I had to guess, because I don't remember, it was like $20-something for a flange. Can you imagine that? Now, mind you, that's plus tax. So let's say it was $20 even. That's 80 quarters. 80 quarters somebody has to put in there. And that's not counting the extra wear on anything else or the idiots going around there. So, does this machine make money? No, it does not. So, what's inside one of these Booz-Barometers? You know, there's really nothing inside a Booz-Barometer. They're very simple. There's nothing to them. There's nothing inside them. Well, now wait a minute. What is this crap? What is this crap? Well, I'll tell you what this crap is. These bulbs are probably a different voltage that I didn't have. All right, they're probably 12-volt bulbs that are screw-down bulbs, no less. They're not even bayonets. I didn't have any. So I had some 6-volt flashlight ones, but they would burn out. So I'm running in series, and I've soldered to bulbs because I don't have sockets sitting around here. So I use the old bulb cardboard that holds the bulb to keep them isolated, and I'm running them in series so that the voltage is not going to burn out the bulbs. So if I turn on the machine, see, they're running. Now this bulb is out here, but this one is running through something else, that bulb there, you see? So that's how I get some illumination. But if I didn't have them in series, I'd burn them out instantly. So you take a quarter, and oddly enough, when you put it in the machine, that quarter is holding the switch on. It doesn't just flop by the switch, it's holding it on. And then when you energize a hit, this solenoid here is going to pull in. See that? And then the quarter falls out. Let me get it before the scrounge gets it.
And crispy.
The scrounge spotted it, but I got it first. So it falls into the bottom of the machine. There should be a cardboard box or some kind of metal box that would fit in there. I don't have it. Somebody stole it years ago. I don't even use a cardboard box because so few quarters go in the machine, it doesn't matter. It's very easy for me to sweep it. So here you have simple mechanism. This used to use a battery. Used to have a dry cell battery sitting somewhere here, and it wasn't plugged in. But I'm running it on a little transformer because those. Do you know how much dry cell batteries cost today? Even if you can find one, I can't even imagine how much that would cost. $20, $30 for a battery, and how long would it last? So I use a simple power pack, plugged in, running on a wire, put it over here, and it holds my door. See, it holds my door from closing. So every once in a while, I'll actually make a quarter, and between times that they're gonna bust the wire, I make profit. And that's how I pay my bills, especially at tax time, at the wonderful City Hall counter, you see. So it's all done with quarters. They're like magic. And they disappear right before your hands, you see. Oh, he's got them in his other hand. That's the way it is, because I give it to this person. They never stay in this hand very long. I'm always putting it in that person's hand, this person's hand. This is the life. God bless America. So on that happy note, I'm going to say we'll see you next time. The Main Street Randy Land YouTube channel, where you learn all these important facts of life in the amusement business. See you next time. Bye.